Okay, so the laws of physics. The map of consciousness by Dr. David R. Hawkins explains how all of our emotions are expressed at different hertz from our energy field, from our soul, with shame being 20 hertz and enlightenment being 700 to 1000 hertz. So when a woman expands her emotional range, she's able to go and take her man into those deeper, darker emotions, because you have to surrender to your emotions before you can climb. The kinetic energy gained by the surrender is what fuels the climb. Like the feminine has to drop her handkerchief for the man to decide what to do next. When the feminine is flirting with a man across the room, when her eyes lower, that gives him his opening. She surrenders and he decides. So the surrender comes first, and then the kind of action or deciding comes next. So the deeper that the woman can go into her emotions, the higher the couple can climb. And I really had to accept that. And I experienced enlightenment for the first time 2 years ago. And I had to accept that my soul planned that for me, that if I want Mount Everest size wisdom, which I see that as enlightenment, then I had to take on Mount Everest size wounds. Because the deeper you die, like life is like jumping on a trampoline. The deeper you go, the higher you fly, all based on the laws of physics. So this is how I get to, the universe is a mirror. Which is showing me myself every moment as a constant feedback loop for self-improvement. And that goes together with the holographic universe, and the heart is a vortex, because my energy comes out my heart, and the neurological system in my heart is far more complex than my brain. And the heart sends far more signals to the brain and the other way around. So when you bring your heart into coherence, that brings your whole nervous system into coherence. And like Dr. Andrew Huberman was talking about, we need people to be calm and have a coherent nervous system so they can talk like mature adults and hear opposing positions without having to freak out and get super triggered. Why are they super triggered? They don't know how to process their emotions. So they're suppressing tons of fear, guilt, and shame. And when it gets triggered in the process, they blame everybody else. Because what environment were they raised in? An environment where people projected their problems onto other people and then blamed them for it. If a parent can't remain calm when a 2-year-old is crying and the 2-year-old gets spanked or hit or, punished, I mean, it's a 2-year-old or even a 1-year-old. Or the infant's needs not getting attended to. I mean, I was taught to leave my children to cry it out at night so they learn to sleep on their own, but they aren't designed to regulate their own nervous system. I wasn't taught that. But why was I taught that? Because they want women to go to work and for the kids to be raised in childcare, because we put money and convenience before health and well-being. But when health and well-being come first, we have to accept who we are and how this all functions. Because if health and well-being came first, then my mom would have been taken care of. My dad would have made sure that even after the divorce that we were cared for, which we weren't. But that is because my parents came from a traumatic childhood as well. And then so goes the generational trauma. So let's do a little more of a deep dive into how this works as a holographic universe. So my energy is projected out through the vortex of my heart onto the quantum field so I can see myself. So if I have part of my energy that's selfish, and then I project it outward, and I perceive selfishness in someone else, that is my soul showing me my own selfishness. Now that person's probably selfish too, but I don't have control over them. They are not my responsibility. I am my own responsibility. And when I spend time trying to change them, I take away time that I should have spent on changing myself. Okay? We come here as souls having a human experience to see and understand ourselves for self-improvement opportunities.